What if I told you the smartest guy you know is exactly who scammers are hunting right now? I spent the last year pretending to be the perfect victim. I clicked the shady links, replied to the wrong number texts, and reverse engineered over 1,000 financial scams so you don't have to. According to the FTC, Americans lost a record $10 billion to fraud last year alone. And the highest demographic of victims weren't the elderly. They were young, highly educated, tech-savvy millennials. You probably think you are immune to this stuff, but how are they effortlessly tricking people who literally grew up on the internet? Because they aren't hacking your computer, they are hacking your brain. I found exactly 7 psychological traps they use every single time to drain your accounts. Step 1. Why do you secretly want to be hacked? You think you'd never fall for a fake crypto pitch, right? Think again. Scammers don't start by asking for money. They start by making you feel like you stumbled into an elite secret club. It is classic psychology of money. We all secretly want to find the next huge wealth loophole before our neighbors do. In 2023, investment scams accounted for nearly half of all money lost to fraud, over $4.6 billion, strictly because they exploit our hardwired desire for social status. They show you highly manipulated fake screenshots of regular people making millions from their couch. But showing you fake digital money isn't quite enough to make you open your actual wallet. For that, they need to borrow a face you already implicitly trust. Step 2. The billionaire disguise. You missed? Have you seen those deepfake Elon Musk videos promising to double your money? You might laugh, but millions of people don't. We are psychologically conditioned from birth to obey authority figures blindly. When we see a celebrity, a CEO, or even a verified blue checkmark, our brain literally shuts down the critical thinking centers. It is a cognitive bias called the halo effect. The Better Business Bureau reported that impersonation scams rose drastically last year, draining hundreds of millions from people who thought they were talking to trusted customer support or a famous entrepreneur. They spoof caller IDs and steal legitimate corporate logos so perfectly you can't tell the difference. Once they have your absolute trust and you make that first tiny $50 deposit, a terrifying psychological switch flips. Step 3. How does a $10 mistake ruin lives? Imagine realizing you are actively being scammed, but instead of running away, you actually send them more money. Insane, right? This is the darkest part of the psychology of money. It is the sunk cost fallacy. Scammers let you withdraw your first small profit to prove they are legitimate. Then, they freeze your entire account and demand a massive tax to release the rest of your funds. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center states that thousands of victims are caught in these exact pig butchering scams. People lose an astonishing average of $50,000 just trying desperately to get their initial $100 back. They throw good money after bad. But getting you emotionally invested is only half the battle. To empty you out entirely, they alter your reality. Step 4. What is the phantom riches mirage? Do you know what happens to your brain when it genuinely thinks it is about to get rich? It literally gets high. Scammers use highly customized fake dashboard interfaces that show your crypto or stock portfolios skyrocketing in real time. Your brain gets flooded with pure dopamine. Behavioral economists call this the phantom riches tactic. You are no longer acting logically. You are acting exactly like a gambling addict chasing a neon high. Data from the Global Anti-Scam Organization shows that victims log into these fake dashboards up to 20 times a day. You are seeing green numbers go up, thinking you can finally quit your horrible job. But dopamine alone won't force you to liquidate your retirement fund. To make you do the unthinkable, they pull the deadliest trigger. Step 5. The invisible gun to your head? What would you do if your bank called right now saying your life savings is being wired to Russia in exactly 60 seconds? Panic is the ultimate psychological weapon. We make terrible financial decisions when we are rushed. Scammers artificially manufacture a high-stakes crisis. They tell you the investment window closes in 10 minutes, or that the police are on their way to arrest you if you don't pay immediately. According to AARP's Fraud Watch network, over 70% of successful scams involve a highly engineered sense of extreme urgency. When your amygdala is hijacked by primal fear, your brain physically restricts access to its logical prefrontal cortex. You literally cannot think straight. You are completely paralyzed, typing in your routing number. So, how do you actually break this spell? Step 6. What words terrify a scammer? Want to see a professional con artist panic in real time over the phone? Tell them this exactly. I tested hundreds of different responses against these guys. Being rude doesn't work. Ignoring them just makes them sell your number to someone else. You have to aggressively break their script. When you simply say, "I need to clear this transaction with my fiduciary first," the entire dynamic instantly shifts. Less than 2% of Americans actually have a fiduciary, but scammers know this specific word means a legally bound financial professional is going to audit the deal. They immediately ghost you because the risk of criminal exposure is way too high. It is the ultimate psychological shield. But what happens when the next scammer calling isn't a stranger? Step 7. Is your family already compromised? Think you are safe now? What if your mom calls you crying for help, but it is not actually your mom? Generative AI is completely rewriting the rules of financial psychology right now. Just 3 seconds of audio pulled from a random social media video is all it takes to clone a loved one's voice flawlessly. We are hardwired to drop everything and empty our accounts when family is in physical danger. McAfee recently reported that 1 in 4 people have experienced an AI voice cloning scam, and 77% of those victims actually lost money to it. The tech is getting incredibly cheap and terrifyingly accurate. So how do you protect your family when you literally can't trust your own ears anymore? You need a family safe word today, because if you don't slow down, you are their next target. If this video made you realize how easy it is to manipulate human psychology, subscribe. Because the next generation of scams won't look fake anymore. They'll look normal. And before you leave, comment the scam tactic that surprised you the most. Because honestly, the best defense against manipulation is recognizing it before it happens.